education. The result produced by instruction, training, or study. I want to salute all the doctors and nurses that are out there on the front line right now. Back when in 2000, 9/11, 2001, 9/11, I still walk around today when I see police, I see firefighters, I salute them. I see military, I salute them, even though I am prior military as well. I salute the doctors and the nurses because I'm hearing the stories of what they're going through. Face masks. They need ventilators. They need the garment suits that they wear. Doctors are coming up sick. Doctors are dying. Nurses are coming up sick. Nurses are dying. Matter of fact, I think it was on CNN or MSNBC where this nurse, she got up and she said, I love doing what I do. I give my life to this. I'm looking at doctors getting sick. I walk in the one room and there's doctors in there asleep because they don't want to go home and they don't want to infect their family. I'm seeing doctors getting sick and dying. But this is what I went to school. This is what I got my education in. So we got to salute those doctors and those nurses who are giving up those long hours to help us in this crisis. So now we're in this crisis and a lot of our children are being homeschooled. I'm looking at my laptop. They got laptops. Okay, Mr. Dowridge, you're so smart. What about our kids that don't have laptops? I understand that too. But you got to believe self-belief. You got to believe self-esteem. You got to believe faith. All right? And you got to be astute to make sure in this crisis. Let me just sidebar real quick. All right? Even though we are homeschooling our children, don't take this as a moment of lightness. Don't take this as a moment of jovial. This is very serious, and when I say it's very serious, and when we talk about education, they just extended, and there's a lot of states right now that's saying that, we're extending homeschooling to May 30th. May 30th? May 30th, June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. 9 times out of 10, June 5th, 5 days, 6 days later, school is done for the year. So if you don't spend that time that we have now to make sure that your children are online, make sure your children got a book in their hand. Make sure that your children are spending at least 5 hours a day being educated. I understand 7 hours, but I'm talking 8. I understand school is like what, 8 hours, 9 hours in brick and mortar, but at home, at least 5 hours a day. Because at the end of this, when it's all said and done and we're back up and running, guess what? Here come the tests. Here come the tests. And if our children are not well prepared, okay, well, my child won't get promoted anyway. Your child will be promoted without the molecules in place. My child's going to graduate anyway. Your child will walk across that stage or be sent in the mail a diploma. But the knowledge won't be there to back up that diploma. My child got a degree. The knowledge won't be there to back up. So ladies and gentlemen, all I'm saying in education is that we must continue and take this period and this time to make sure our children are being educated. Again, it's been said, it's funny that, our children, not all, but they go home, the parents are not forceful, not firm, and assuring that the children are getting educated. So when the teacher calls home, the parent is the first one racing up to the school to cuss the teacher out, to cuss the principal, the dean, etc., etc. Say, everybody get a cussing. Everybody get a cussing today. Today is cuss them out day. But it really starts at home. It don't start in school. It don't start in church. It starts at home. And if the parents are not, I'm not going to harp on this because somebody's going to get mad at me. But if the parents are not educated, and if the parents don't care, what do you think is going to happen to our children? I really didn't learn to read until I was in the 6th grade. Now you know. I really did not know how to read until I was in the 6th grade. I was in the classroom. In Baltimore, and I think the school was on, for everybody that's listening from Baltimore, the school was on Schroeder Street. And I was in the 6th grade. No, I take that back. I was in the South Bronx at PS 146 on Caldwell Avenue in the South Bronx. Little girl that I liked. You see what I'm saying? I had them eyes for her. She walked in the classroom. She saw me sitting at my desk. She walked in the classroom with her little friend. And the first thing she said, see that big haired boy over there? He can't read. Oh, why she had to say that? That was my motivation. That was my self-esteem. That was my self-assurance, and that started me to at least read him. Now, I'll be honest with you. I didn't get an A. I didn't get an A on my report card until I got to the 10th grade. That goes to show you how much I cared about a school, but she started me to wanting to read because I wanted to get next to her. Education, you know what I mean? It's nothing to play with. We got to get that knowledge. We got to get that knowledge. My boy Benjamin. Alright, what's up, bro? Thanks for joining in. Alright? But it is very important that we use this time to make sure that our children are educated, so when the next cycle, the next semester, and when I say semester, when it is reported that we are back to normal. That's the next semester. Please don't ease up on education. Oh, Mom, come on, Mom, come on. Boy, look at here. You got 5 minutes to go, and the 5 minutes turn out to be 5 hours later. And then the parent turns around and cuss out the child. I knew you no good mother. So that child grows up to be an adult, losing all the way until his last breath. Simply because we did not be proactive with our children. Don't be scared of your children now. My son, you see the picture up here? You see the picture? Let me see. You see the picture? You see the picture? Yeah, there you go. You see the picture right there? Alright? That's my son standing next to me. Okay? And he's bigger than me. And trust me, he's always been a big boy. And when he was young, alright, coming through elementary, middle school, high school, but I set the seed when he was young in elementary school. Yo, dude, let me tell you something. I'm your dad. I love you. I'm your dad. I'm going to be with you. I'm your dad. If you wrong me, we got a problem. Long as you're right, I'm there with you. I'll support you to the mere end. But education, young fella. And believe it or not, what I used to do with my son when he was probably about 8, I think starting maybe about 8, or maybe 7, 8 years old, when we go out to the store and we at the cash register, I would give him the money and let him pay. And the cashier what she or he, who depending on who it is, what they would do, they would say, okay, young fella, and I would have them to count the money out to him and then have him to recount the money. I would have him to take the receipt and read to me what the receipt says. You see what I'm saying? So I'm preparing him for the life that he's going to live. Big man is 41 years old. The respect is still there. The thing of it is that, yo, son, don't be scared of me. Don't live your life scared of me. But please, you got to respect me. And right to this day, we're the best of friends. We're not the best of friends because he's scared of me. We're the best of friends because I respect him, he respects me. And it's a beautiful thing. Every time we in each other's company, you know what we do? We hug each other. Bam, what's going on, son? And he's bigger than me, so I grab him by the back of the head and I pull him down and I have him right here. And why I got him right here? I love you, son. He's 41 years old. This dude 9 years away from being 50. It's respect. It's being a dad that I am committed to be. I'm not a vacant, no, I'm not bragging. I'm not a vacant dad. I'm not a disappearing dad. I'm not a broken promise dad. From point A, and like I told him recently, dude, I'm your dad until I drop dead. My dad, that's a whole different story. His grandfather, that's a whole different story. I ain't got time to go into that. I'll just say, yo, homie, continue to sleep. I'll holler at you when I get there. I respect him. I love him. But that's a whole different story. All right, let's move on. Endurance, the ability to bear pain, hardship, or adversity. The endurance, the perseverance. And then on top of that, the resilience to come back. The ability to spark. It's a beautiful thing when you might fall and trip. And then when you get back up and you're dusting yourself off, and somebody come up to you sometimes later and say, oh, I thought you were dead. Oh, I thought you were done. Oh, I thought you were somewhere in a rocking chair. And they see you shining bright as a star. You're shining so much, so bright that they have to put on their what? Ray-Bans. That's how you do it. That's endurance. Going through the pain. Suffering through the pain, but being able to come back through the pain. As a veteran, I'm a veteran, a disabled veteran. I go up to the VA hospital. Or better yet, let me bounce back. A few years ago, because most of you all know I played Frederick Douglass. I was up at the VA hospitality center. This is where the veterans, that's where they sleep. That's their home. I got 30 veterans, in an oval shape. I'm in the middle, speaking to these veterans. It was getting to the point where it took just about everything I had to get through this presentation. Looking at these veterans and the pain and the agony that I know they were going through. Paralyzed, or they're in a chair, or in a wheelchair, tubes coming out and everything. They're enduring this pain. And after the presentation, I had a few of them. One that couldn't talk. Or when he attempted to talk, he got, saliva coming out of his mouth. I have to lean in real close to hear what he's saying. And would you believe that the majority of these veterans and the pain that they were going through, they had the audacity to try to clap. They had the audacity to say, I love you, thank you. They had the audacity to want to hug me. Going through the pain. But even though they were in the pain, they didn't let that stop them from their happiness. Just imagine how many people who fail to endure. It's been said this morning that we as Americans, we know about pain. Well, let me go even deeper than that. We as black people, we know about pain. If you don't know about pain, open up a Black History book. If you don't know about pain, go to the library and read about the pain that we had to endure back then. Reverend Lowry, he just passed at 90, I think he was 90. They called him the Dean of the Civil Rights Movement. And if you saw, or if you have an inkling of what we went through to get to the 60s, to get to the 90s, to get to 2020. Think about how many people we lost in the battle for us to be here today to enjoy what we have. The freedom that we have. So, you know, we can't take this freedom knowing that where we come from, the cotton fields, to where we are now, just to kick the can down the road. If anything, pick that can up, pop that bad boy open, and take a sip. And as you take a sip, understand that you have the ability to endure pain that is knocking. I told you about my knees. I got all the opportunity to say, you know what? I'm in too much pain. I can medicate myself up and just call it a day. But I endure the pain. You can endure the pain. Because going through the pain allows you to get to the other side of your happiness. And when I say the other side, I'm not talking about, you know, with Jesus. But I'm talking about the other side. When you endure the pain, it allows you to conquer. When you endure the pain, it allows you to move fast, to move forth. It allows you to forge forth, to endure. The next one, initiative. I hope I'm not boring anybody, because I know I'm going on. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to have to switch up. But I want to get through the number 7. It's initiative, readiness, and ability in initiating action. Procrastination, pack it up, send it out. Put it in the garbage disposal. Doubt, do the same thing with it. Deny, stop denying yourself what you are worth. Stop denying what is truly yours. Stop doubting yourself. Look in the mirror and have that talk to yourself. I've had many talks to myself in the mirror. I've even had the point that, you know, when I started making this switch over, I would have sticky pads. I would have sticky pads all over my mirror. I would go out and I would buy books and I would read. Matter of fact, every time I fly out, you know, I'm at the airport, I go into the bookstore. And I would buy books on motivation. I still do that. I would go out and buy motivational books. Faith books. And I would read while I'm on the plane. I get to my destination. Okay, boom, do what I got to do. Get back on the plane. I'm reading some more. Because yes, I still need, even though people say I'm the motivational guru, people look up to me, but I still need motivation. I still need to look out for my self-esteem. I still got to look out for my self-endurance. I got to do the same thing that you must do. Because we're all in this game together. So please, ladies and gentlemen, especially during this time that we're in, turn up your initiative.